Michael Bisping just went off on Ariel Helwani again and called him a bellend right on his YouTube channel. This came during Bisping's reaction to Jon Jones finally breaking his silence and saying the UFC is working on something big with Aspinall, but that he can't announce it yet. Funny enough, Bisping actually agreed with Ariel this time, saying he also believes the biggest heavyweight fight of all time, Jones versus Aspinall, is truly in the works. But even while backing up Helwani's report, Bisping couldn't resist throwing a jab, dropping the Bellend line with that signature Bisping sarcasm. Of course, this isn't new beef. These two have traded shots for years now. Ariel once blasted Bisping for being a power slap commentator and called him a Dana White bootlicker, while Bisping clapped back publicly, mocking Ariel's reporting style and attitude. This heavyweight title clash between Jon and Tom has dragged on way too long. Fans are getting restless, the division's been frozen, and everyone's just waiting for the UFC to make a move. So while Bisping and Ariel might be taking shots at each other, at least they're aligned on one thing: this massive fight is coming and it's long overdue.
Is he actually telling the truth? My guess is that he's telling the truth. My guess is that he will take the fight. Ariel Helwani came out recently and said, oh, apparently he asked for a crazy number and the UFC met it. And he didn't think the UFC would do that. So now he turned down the fight. To be fair, Ariel Helwani, as much of a bellend that he is, he does find stuff out. He does weasel his way. He does call people up. He does annoy them. He does get the inside scoop a lot of the time, and he has no problem revealing it. We know that. So maybe there was some truth to that. But this, of course, goes against everything. Now, this will be the biggest heavyweight fight that the UFC has ever seen. Jon Jones will probably get one of the biggest paydays the sport's ever seen. In fact, the only person I think that could even rival this would be a Conor McGregor. He's the biggest earner that the sport's ever seen. This fight's going to be gigantic. Jon Jones is going to get paid a shitload of cash. And if it does actually happen, if it goes down in Madison Square Garden, which is what I always said it would, because a fight of this magnitude needs an iconic venue, then everyone's going to get paid a shit ton of money.
Sean O'Malley is opening up more and more about why things went south in his first fight with Merab Dvalishvili. He admitted that overconfidence played a major role in the loss, saying he underestimated just how relentless the Georgian could be, especially if Suga couldn't find the finish. On top of that, he revealed he was dealing with an injury heading into the bout, but didn't want to pull out because he didn't want to disappoint the UFC, especially with the fight being part of the historic Sphere event in Las Vegas. It was a night he didn't want to miss, even if he wasn't at 100%. Now, fast forward to UFC 316, and this rematch is shaping up to be something special. Merab is stepping in for his second title defense, this time against the very man he took the belt from. It's not just a rematch, it's a full circle moment. For Sean, it's a chance to prove the first time wasn't the full story. For Merab, it's another opportunity to show that he truly is the king of the bantamweight mountain. The stakes are massive, and the storyline writes itself. This isn't just about redemption, it's about legacy. And with all eyes on this card, expect both guys to show up with everything they've got, because this could be one of the most important bantamweight fights in recent UFC history.
I was proud of my performance considering how I felt going into the fight. And I don't want to have excuses like, oh, it wasn't a great camp, but it was a good camp for what I was able to do. So, you know, I don't want to say overconfident, I was underestimating Merab's skill. I know how good he is, I just believed in myself that much. So looking back on it, yeah, I probably shouldn't have accepted the fight. I tore my labrum, my hip, 10 weeks before the fight. 8 weeks before the fight, Hunter called me and said, hey, you got the Sphere. And I was like, I'm not gonna turn that down. Like, right. I'm like, so it's whatever. I think it's gonna make it that much sweeter of a victory after having to lose to him. So, but yeah, I'm happy with where we're at right now.
Arman Tsarukyan just dropped something serious about Khamzat Chimaev, an inside scoop on the undefeated Chechen that's already stirring reactions. Arman's trained alongside Khamzat and witnessed things most fans never will. And according to him, the whole Khamzat gets tired narrative is off the mark. It's not a cardio problem. It's actually the opposite. Khamzat trains so violently, so relentlessly that by the time he walks into the cage, he's already drained from Warzone sparring sessions. Arman says the guy goes through 5 or 6 fresh bodies in the gym, back to back, dropping them, dominating them, and refusing to slow down. That insane intensity doesn't leave much in the tank when fight night arrives, and Tsarukyan isn't the first one to say Khamzat's cardio is crazy good during training. His former teammates, such as Jalen Turner, Alexander Gustafsson, Michael Venom Page, have shared their stories, pointing out Khamzat's insane work ethic. This gives a whole new layer to how fans should look at Khamzat's performances. It's not about fading, it's that he's already pushed himself to the limit before the cage door even closes. Arman didn't stop there. He also shared his prediction for Islam Makhachev's future, including when he believes Makhachev will retire and what he might do if he wins the welterweight title. Here's Arman's interview with a Russian reporter, Kamil Gadziev.
Я думаю, что Ислам станет чемпионом.
I think Islam will become the champion and stay there, defending the title. And after the weight cut at 170, he'll probably say, I'd rather not go back down, and everyone will be fine with it. I think he'll defend the belt twice and then retire. Honestly, things at 170 are different now. I remember the Usman era. That was total domination. He maintained that weight, controlled everything, was the favorite in every fight. But then chaos began after he lost to Edwards, and the title's been constantly changing hands since. Now, if Khamzat were still at 170, no one would stand a chance against him. He's insanely good, and even at 185, I don't think anyone can truly compete with him. He's just on another level. I've trained with him. I know how good he really is. As for people saying he gets tired too easily, I think that's misunderstood. What I've seen in training is that he pushes himself way too hard. He overtrains. He spars with 5 or 6 guys back to back, knocks one out, destroys another, and just keeps going without letting up. I believe that's exactly why he ends up going into fights compromised. Not because of bad cardio, but because he pushes his body beyond its limits beforehand. Khamzat Chimaev and UFC middleweight Shara Magomedov just made headlines in Russia after Shara revealed that the two got into a wild street brawl right inside a Moscow subway station. The story came out during Shara's interview with Russian media, and it's got fans buzzing. Khamzat and Shara weren't always cool with each other. They used to throw shade over each other's records, especially after Khamzat mocked Shara's wrestling skills. But lately, things have changed. Through mutual friends and shared management, the two have been linking up whenever they're in Russia, working out together and hanging out. According to Shara, just a few days ago, that bond was tested in real life. He says they were entering a metro station in Moscow when a heated argument broke out with 4 locals, apparently over a shoulder bump. That tension quickly exploded into a full-blown brawl. Shara claims 2 of the guys got knocked out during the scuffle. He shared the wild details with the Russian YouTube channel Usha Taika, and now the story's gone viral. The footage hasn't surfaced yet, but if it does, you can bet it's going to break the internet. And with how dangerous both men are inside a cage, the thought of them brawling in public is straight up cinematic. Let's dive into Shara's interview. These 4 guys were just standing there like they ran the place, totally loud and obnoxious, hard not to notice. As we walked up to the doors, they made no effort to move or give space. So I gave one of them a shoulder check and kept walking. Then we heard this whistle behind us, like someone trying to get our attention. We turned around and one of them called out, telling us to come over. So we did, just to see what he wanted. Right away, the attitude was off, rude and condescending. Then one of them grabbed my arm, trying to pull me toward him, and said something like, "Let's go outside, you'll see what happens." That's when we snapped. We both jumped in and the fight broke out. 2 of them got pretty much knocked out and the other 2 bolted. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.